Yeah, it's time to talk fantasy football. That's right. You are on the Triple Play YouTube channel. Good to see you. Wherever you're seeing us, follow us, connect with us, learn from us. I am a newcomer. My name is Michael Govier. I am now part of the AAA squad. I'll be popping in with commentary, analysis, breakdowns on fantasy football, baseball, who knows, college football. I love college football. I love it all. But it's really, really exciting to be here today. And the focus of today's video is this guy right here. Check him out. You know what this is? You probably do. But in case you may have forgotten or you didn't catch up on some highlights recently, I bet you have seen this play right here. There he is. Rhamondre Stevenson breaks through the line on the right side, and he's on his way to the 30, the 40, the 50. He's going to go all the way. The 40, the 30, the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown! Rhamondre Stevenson is a god, a national treasure, and we should be drafting him very, very high. Right? Maybe not. Maybe we should slow that roll a little bit. Take a moment to reflect. Consider the options, because I'm not so sure that's a great idea. Rhamondre Stevenson is a unique person because he's had a fascinating career already. Originally, he played at Cerritos College, which was a junior college, before he transferred to Oklahoma. And once he came to Oklahoma, he just took over the world. He became the king of kings down there at the University of Oklahoma. Sort of. He actually got suspended, and he was busted for weed, apparently. Smoking the ganj, which apparently is not cool. I think weed should be legalized completely, help people with their pain management and mental health stuff. In fact, Lincoln Riley himself said he learned a lot from the suspension of Rhamondre Stevenson, and that marijuana should play a much more positive role in the football world. At any rate, Rhamondre got suspended for the Peach Bowl in 2019 and then 6 games into the 2020 college season. So he was cut short from really dominating the field in 2020. But he still got drafted by the Patriots because they liked what they saw from him. He offered a special package, and Bill Belichick knows what he likes. He never gets his draft picks wrong, does he? Oh, that's worth another Price is Right sounder right there. Bill Belichick is a legend, a god. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame, no doubt about it. But even Bill Belichick makes draft mistakes. But when he saw Rhamondre Stevenson at this wonderful Senior Bowl here, you see him cutting through. This is some of the best seniors in the business here, trying out, getting ready for the next season, trying to show their draft stock is legit. Rhamondre's got moves. He can cut, and he can take off. And he's also pass pro. Look at this. Taking care of business. He could help out Mac Jones or Cam Newton, whoever's going to be behind center for the Patriots in 2021. So based off what they saw there and what they heard about him and saw at Oklahoma, they drafted Rhamondre Stevenson. Now, unfortunately, Rhamondre got off to a rocky start. You saw that 91-yarder. That was against Washington football team, which is supposed to have an amazing defense. But if you go back and look at the highlight again, 1 minute to go in the game, a preseason game, and it's tied. Nobody wants a tie in a preseason game. So when Rhamondre took off for a 91-yarder, I think Washington was okay with that. Okay, wait, we don't want to have a tie. This game's over. We saw what we needed to see from some of the players that we were analyzing. The problem is, too, that the defense on the field at the end of a preseason game, especially early preseason, I mean, those guys, they're not even whiffing the roster. They're not going to be on the main squad coming regular season time. So that's my point. It's a nice play. It looks cool. 91 yards is always exciting, but it wasn't a legit play. Let's just be honest. But he continued to dominate to a certain extent in the preseason. But should you draft him? Because that's what this is all about. This is a fantasy football focused segment. Should you be drafting Rhamondre Stevenson? I would say no. I would say slow it down. We've had a lot of classic preseason performers who have ended up not really giving us anything. How about Royce Freeman a couple of years ago? Remember him? He was a rookie out of Georgia. He was a rookie out of Oregon. And Royce was going to be the man for the Denver Broncos. And he had a really nice preseason. In fact, he dominated the preseason. But by the time the regular season rolled around, it wasn't all that great. He finished 2018, had 521 yards and 5 touchdowns. It's not god-awful. I mean, 5 touchdowns is nice, especially for a rookie year. He also caught 14 balls. It's not exactly the kind of guy that you're going to draft in really the first 15 picks of your draft. If you want to take a flyer on a guy like Royce Freeman back in 2018, then you probably cut him at a certain point because he wasn't delivering continuously. And then you got to factor in preseason hype happens, and then it goes away, and it's never heard from again. And then you also factor in the Patriots backfield. Bill Belichick, a lot of running back. James White's still there. Brandon Bolden's still there. What do you know? Sure, they traded Sony Michel, but who cares? He wasn't going to be a big factor for them anyways. Anybody reading the tea leaves saying, hey, you know what? The Patriots traded Sony Michel. I think Rhamondre Stevenson's going to be a game breaker. Denied. That's not going to happen. He's talented, and he has a lot to offer. He could probably do it all, but this is the Patriots backfield we're talking about here. He's never going to give it to you on a week-to-week basis. So I don't see how we can justify drafting him right now. I just don't. To me, he is waiver wire fodder at this time. Just because it's always complicated. There's always a chance that a Patriots running back could go off for a 4-touchdown game. We've seen it before. There's that guy against the Colts a few years back. I can't remember his name, but you guys remember what I'm talking about? He had 4 touchdowns in a victory against the Colts. Everybody picked him up, and then poof, we never saw him again. That kind of stuff happens with the Pats all the time. And the fact that Damian Harris is a special back who could really be the actual breakout here. He's the one that we all should be drafting. We are drafting because we know that he can provide us with weekly content that will feed our team. We need to feed our team, get those points so we can win. That's what it's all about. So that's how I see it here. Rhamondre Stevenson's a fun guy, interesting character. He's got a lot of talent. But we're not looking for talent. We're looking for points, fantasy points. That's what we need here. That's what we all are hoping for. And to close it out, I want to go back to just 3.5 weeks ago. Zach Cox, who's a beat writer for the Pats, talked to Ivan Fears. Now, Ivan Fears is the running backs coach for the Pats, and he's been so since 2002. So Ivan Fears has been around for a long, long time. He's not new. He's not fresh. He didn't just show up and be like, oh, wow, hey, I'm a head coach now? Or what do you want me to do? Oh, I'm coaching running backs? Okay, cool. Not like that. Ivan Fears is a veteran presence with a lot of experience, and he deserves to be listened to whenever he opens his mouth. So what Ivan said a few weeks ago about Mr. Stevenson was this. Your early impressions of Rhamondre Stevenson. What does he need to improve? Everything. What do I like about him? He's here. I like that he's here. Other than that, everything's got to improve. That's what we have to get done. He's got a lot to learn. He's talented. We'll see what we can do in the games, but right now, he's got a lot to learn. A lot to learn. Quote from Ivan Fears, running back coach for the Pats. So maybe over the last few weeks, because that was on August 4th. Now we're at the end of the month here in August. Maybe he has learned a few things that Ivan wanted him to learn in those weeks that have passed. But I think you'd be really putting yourself at risk if you're going to put a draft pick on him. Dynasty-wise, I think it's worth a flyer, certainly, because it's Dynasty. And if you have a deep Dynasty league where you can take a pick like Rhamondre Stevenson, then go for it. Great idea. Totally down with it. But otherwise, in redraft leagues, I don't care if it's PPR, non-PPR, whatever it is, Rhamondre Stevenson is not someone that you should draft in 12-team leagues at all. And in 15-team leagues, 14-team leagues, 16-team leagues, I would really have to stretch to find him. I think I'd rather have other guys like Josh Kelly of the Chargers, for example. There's a lot of running backs out there who could create more opportunities, who've already established themselves just a bit. So don't fall for the hype. Like Shaquille O'Neal said back in the day, don't fake the funk on a nasty dunk. And that's what you got here. He's a talented guy. He's an exciting player. He's young. He's a rookie. He's going to learn a lot this season. But I do not expect Rhamondre Stevenson to be a relevant weekly contributor at the running back position or your flex position, whatever position you want to slide him in at. He's just not there yet, not this season. You combine the Patriots' chaos in the backfield, what Bill Belichick every week likes to do something different. You never know what next week's game plan will be because that's how he looks at the game. You combine all these factors, and he's a rookie, and the uncertainty, no thanks, not interested. So I hope you got it. You get the message? Does it make sense? I certainly hope so. This was my first video for the Triple Play channel, and it was a pleasure to be here. You can follow me at MJ Govier, G-O-V as in Victor, I-E-R, on Twitter, TikTok, all your favorite social media platforms. Whichever one you prefer, you can join me there, and I'll be there for you. In fact, I would love to connect with you. Ask me fantasy questions. Ask me any questions. Ask me, what's my favorite Oreo, or what's the best donut in the world? Is In-N-Out better than McDonald's? Please. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And of course, make sure to follow the Triple Play channel on Twitter at TripPlayFantasy. TripPlayFantasy. That's it for me, Michael Govier.